YouTube, this is with the brand new ban list. The ban list that has unlimited Meow Moo, so hopefully we're going to have prank kids in the top 16. All the unlimited limits and restrictions before they are applied in-game, we are applying them fully into this tournament by watching as long as you can. That greatly supports me. Liking, commenting, subscribing, all that great stuff. I appreciate it. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
New best deck versus the old. Vanquish Soul, now old. We have Mad Love searching for a Dust Devil, and that's it. We do have the ability to flip a monster on the field face down. That's something. We also have the ability to reveal a Darken Earth, which we don't have to use an effect that we can't even do, so it's not even worth talking about. We could simply flip a single card face down, and that's it. Now, by not using the Maxi in the draw phase, we're going to be playing right into that triple tactics talent, unfortunately. And the Diablo Star does not activate when performing the summon. It just summons itself onto the field like a Fenrir. Poplar is being triggered to equip into the back row. Diablo Star grabbing an original Sinful from the deck here. No disruptive plays yet so far. No reason to use our Book of Moon effect. Sending the Poplar to special summon for the deck, and now we're going to hit them with the Max C. There's still a chance we could turn off Max C, especially as a Snake Eyes player. You could triple tactics talent draw into a Draw and Lockbird, and with Draw and Lockbird, you could then turn off the Max C. Now, do we take the Max C challenge and just win this turn? Very likely. Setting up the Divine Temple with a Snake Eyes Flame Burst into the back row. As long as you keep this in the back row and you perform 5 summons or more, the opponent's Nibiru will trigger the field spell to summon the Flame Burst from the back row. That's kind of your anti-Nibiru protection. Always remember that, especially if you're the Nibiru player yourself. We're going to flip down the Ash before it activates to summon a monster from the deck. We are going to instead look at the opponent's hand, returning a Shifter. Return Shifter? How are we going to even use Shifter? We have so many cards in the grave. That seemed quite useless. That was not a good idea, right? Am I missing something? I guess returning a Dark. Okay, let's be clear that Vanquish Soul benefits from the attribute of the cards, not just the effects and what the cards do. So we didn't return Shifter, we returned a Dark monster back in the deck. I think that's what we did, right? We have Rise Heart banishing with the deck our Fenrir. Goodbye top 3 of our deck. To battle we go over the Ash. On the normal summon of the Rise Heart, that could have triggered our Divine Temple to special summon the Flame Burst, but we passed on it. Interestingly, we're now going to send the Divine Carnate to summon our Diablo Star. And we're going to scoop up just like that. We are done. No thank you. Let's hop into game number 2. We have the best turn 1 opener. Now, using Valor or Impermanence on the Raisin is usually a no-no. We don't do that because if they have Borger or the Caesar, which we have both of, we could dodge the Impermanence very easily, as we are doing right here, right now. Don't forget how Vanquish Soul is being played. No Imperm, no Valor. Now, Imperm, you could argue to save it for your turn onto their Link monster, but for Valor, you don't have that option. So when would be the best time to actually use Valor, which is much more restricted than the Impermanence? You'd think that maybe, to the discussion with using Ash Blossom on Xiaolong's pretty good comparatively to something like Raisin if you were to hold on to the Ash. We are digging deep with that pot of pee. Banishing, not actually digging digging a puddle, only banishing 3 to search for 3. We're going to triple tactics talent, look at the opponent's hand, return the Ash back into the deck, and now we have Rock of the Vanquisher, which I believe the Valor probably would have been a better use on. It's actually, I would just say Valor sucks against Vanquish Soul, but it's so good against Snake Eyes you have to play it. Because maybe Valoring the Raisin is just worth the risk, because this really isn't a big deal to use Valor on. Now, what are all of the disruptions? We do have the ability to potentially set up a way to pop a card in the field. We can also destroy all monsters on the field, and let's get to it. We can also destroy the same column as Raisin. How do we play through this? Triple Tactics talent is pretty good against Vanquish Soul, because a lot of their effects have to be used within the main phase. Searching for our Caesar. Normal summoning Ash? We're gonna wipe out the Ash before the original Sinful Spoils can be used. So we are identifying that this is what they want to use. They want to use the original Sinful. If they have no face-up card to use it on, what do? You think of any other card they could play which would make this a good play. Because it is kind of wild to wipe out a single Ash. the only other option would have to be a field spell, right? And the field spell's not limited to 1, but only played at 1. So with only 1 field spell punishing that early use of wiping out the field, which Caesar would then stop that 1 field spell, and the activation of the field spell popped the field spell. It was kind of a checkmate play. Very well done from Vanquish Soul. And we have enough for lethal, just like that. Okay. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. On to game number 3. Nicely done. All right, send the Poplar for Diablo Star. We have Ghost Bell. Where is Ghost Bell going to be good? It could be used on Oak. It could be used on the Flame Burge. So way you would want to set... Oh, it is. Poplar is also activating. So Chain Link blocking from the Ghost Bell. Very well done. So Poplar, Ash, or Oak are 3 ways to Chain Link block the Flame Burge. So if you sent Flame Burge to summon an Ash, you would then activate Flame Burge, Chain Link to Ash. Or you would Chain Link 1 Flame Burge, Chain Link to Oak. Or as we're doing right now, Chain Link 1 Flame Burge, Chain Link 2 Poplar. And thus, no Ghost Bell negate for you. That's an outplay. What else are we going to Ghost Bell now? We could save Ghost Bell for Promethean Princess, kind of using it like an impermanence instead could be a good option. I don't think I would use it on Promethean effect of reborning from the graveyard on their turn 1, though. That's probably something we would want to not do. So just hold on to the Ghost Bell for later usage, yes? And we're now going to be setting up the Promethean plays. Borreload is here. We are top tier. I do want to comment on this real quick. If the opponent had Nibiru, because Snake Eyes players are thinking about this, and you should think about this yourself if you're playing a Snake Eyes. If you have the field spell plus a back row Flame Burge and a Masquerena on the field or the graveyard, or even if you don't have Masquerena, if they Nibiru, your Flame Burge will summon onto the field. With the Nibiru token and Flame Burge, you can make that Masquerena. All right, all right. Set it up. Reborn the Linkuriboh, which could protect us from being attacked into. We're going to just link it off into Promethean Princess. This is where you could Ghost Spell, but I don't know if we should do that. We do not do that. I agree with not doing that. We do also... The Borreload got What happened to Borreload? We Borreload targeted the Dark, and then Magna Hut stopped the Linkuriboh from being equipped. So we chain summoned it, which thus the Borreload no longer has a negate. Okay, that's all that happened. What I said I thought happened would have been a lot cooler, and yeah, whatever. Add back Poplar with the Salaman Great Wolf. Mobile X, I know you wouldn't misclick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. Forgive me. We're going to discard a card, Reborn the Jet Synchron, as we now link this up into an Apollo USA, multiple negate, triple negate, and do we even play something like Unicorn? Because usually you go into the Apollo during the opponent's turn, you don't Apollo early. So what can we do with the Masquerena? With Masquerena, we could go into a Goddess. Goddess is still a good disruptive play. We do not play Unicorn, so that's not going to be disruption right there. We have Promethean Princess, which will reborn on the summon of a monster, a special summon that is, but we do have the Ghost Spell, but we do have Apollo to negate the Ghost Spell. Let's see how this is played out. Maxi in the draw phase, so the Triple Tactics talent is not activatable yet. We are now making the Triple Tactics talent activatable by negating that Magna Hut, dropping ourselves down to 2 negates. Now, what do? If they're going to take control, non-target take control, Snake Eyes did not summon the Masquerena before being taken control of. The Divine Carnate Kurikara tributing the activated Apollo. Now, Masquerena could still summon, but has nothing to link with, even if we trigger our field spell, because our Flame Burge has been stolen. What do? Flame Burge, get the heck out of here. Pushing her back into the back row she goes. And just like that, not lethal damage because the impermanence will reduce her down to 1500. We thought we had lethal, but Borger is still lethal. Not yet, though. Borger has to reveal an Earth and Fire for game. We have Earth. We don't have Fire. We don't have Fire. But we have Droplet to negate the Borger if we wanted to. Ash, negating draw 1. That's quite interesting. We could still burn with the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Now, in order for to burn for game, what do we have to reveal? How many cards? Reveal 1's 400. Reveal 2 is 1000 damage. That is enough for game. 1K for game. Burn. Damn. 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 Well, we actually needed it, to be fair. That seemed like it was a pretty good use of the Where Art Thou. It ate the Ash. The Divine Temple will now not be negated with the Oak effect using it to send. We need either the Field Spell or the Poplar to put the Flame Burst into the back row. All right, well, you know, we played through an Ash. That was good. We kind of had an awkward hand also, having to play off of the Field Spell with an Oak. Ash on Summon getting negated by Impermanence. We have Double Finger in the hand to protect our play. This is why you should play Impermanence. This is why this card is nuts. Negate, Double Finger, can't finger the Imperm. Got him. We're now going to link this up into Hida. Hida could steal a fire monster from the opponent's grave. We are going to be maxing this up as you attempt to steal our Oak. And now we could whip out our finger, making sure to not play it into the Imperm column. Negate the Cockroach. Reborn the Oak. Oak reborn from our grave. Then Oak or Ash will be able to summon a monster from the deck here. This is the setup. We got it. We also have our own Divine Temple. Yeah. You know, should we have scooped? What happens is Field Spell versus Field Spell. Now there's finally something in the back row. The opponent could have had a chance to make a mistake. And that mistake would be to summon while they have the Flame Burst in the back row. That would trigger the opponent's Field Spell. And you'd think, well, couldn't your Field Spell counter the opponent's Field Spell to summon the Flame Burst? No, the non-turn player Field Spell wins in the mirror match. So it would, you know, if they were to be activating at the same time, which they have different activation timings, they are dependent on the opponent's summoning. So they would summon, you steal their Flame Burst, then their Field Spell has nothing to summon. So that would be the play. Normal summon Veiler. What the heck are these plays? The one banana is going to have, it keeps on having to make awkward turn one plays. We're on summon number 3, grabbing the Poplar. Poplar will be summon number 4. Are we setting up Masquerina into co-linking with Zealantis? So, but if you put Zealantis behind the extra monster zone, it could have co-linked with the Apollo, but now it's not gonna co-link with it. You could co-link with the Unicorn. That's something. I think we're setting up a co-link with Unicorn. Unicorn could draw a card after spinning, and then during the battle phase, we could pop 2 cards. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe that's the line. We have Snake Eye Chase summoning the Diablo Star. Diablo Star is going to be able to search for the trap if we want to. That's going to be negate anything. Very nice. Okay. This is an anti-Super Poly board. Okay, playing against anti-Super Poly. I could respect it. Masquerina is going to be summoned off of the Field Spell being triggered from the opponent's normal summon. I'm thinking we're going to do that Unicorn play, yes? It's going to be kind of cool. Now, in the mirror match, shouldn't we set Crossout Designate? They summon Ash, you designate Ash, and then Ash is negated for the whole turn? Why would we not set this? I would not set it if I wanted to have a fair duel. I think this would be too unfair. We're going to link this off into Linkuriboh. He held it for Nibiru. You're right. You're right. Holding it for Nibiru. You are right. And, you know, I feel like we maybe could have... Yeah, if you wanted to set it, you'd have to ensure that you don't activate the Flame Burst yet to equip the Masquerade. You know, okay, that is something. Sure, yep. Pins down the Nibiru. That is fair. We're going to Silvera negate the original Sinful Spoils here, attempting to summon a level 1 fire from the deck. This will trigger the Diablo Star being sent to the grave to summon itself back in the field by sending a card from our hand or field to the grave. Get ready. I'm excited for the Unicorn play. Yes? Diablo Star setting up the wanted to be used during the next turn. Ash sending itself plus the Linkuriboh to summon our Oak. Oak reborn the Ash. We have used up our normal summon here. Anima is going to suck up Masquerina, or we're going to be using our Promethean, or we're going to finger the Promethean Princess with our Called by the Grave. Now we could wait for the resolution of all this to happen to then Masquerina. Goodbye Promethean. And that's going to stop both players' Prometheans, by the way, as we now in response to the Anima activation, we are going to link the entire field. We are going right into Apollo USA. We weren't going to make some crazy co-linked play that I thought we were going to do. We're instead making 3200 Apollo. Now, fingering Promethean and fingering the Flameburge, it's for 2 turns on both players. They are negated. This is going to greatly affect Matty Pin's plays as well as the 1 bananas. Link this up into Hida. Hida steal a monster from the opponent's grave. Apollo could very easily negate this. Now, what's interesting about the Ambler Whale is that it will trigger even if the opponent's Link 3 or lower is destroyed. So it's being destroyed to activate the search, which could trigger the Ambler Whale to pop any card on the field here. Not that we would want to pop our own card, but we do have the Apollo because it can negate the activation, not just the effect. It is able to activate within the damage step. Nicely done. We have to remember, Snake Eyes, Flameburge, and Promethean Princess are still negated. We are going to use the original Sinful, search in our deck for nothing as the Ash negates, which Apollo and the Crossout designate, or the Silvera secret effect. If you're activating in response to our Diablo Star or Sinful Spoil card, this could chain to negate. Just like that. And that was public information. So we ashed for nothing. Damn. Very well done on that. Secret effect. Search in our deck for our Ash. And with the card banished, we could still use Wanted to return the banished card back in the deck. We're going to recycle the Severa, grabbing our Triple Tactics talent, looking at Nibiru, and getting that full out of here. Back in the deck you go. Ash on summon, searching for Poplar. Poplar get triggering, and we surely are now going to be having lethal damage here. Let's speed this up. Hida could steal a monster from the grave. We're equipping the Poplar, send the Poplar for the Diablo Star, setting up the Silvera again. Most players are not playing Silvera. So being able to witness the power of Silvera, negating the opponent, negating the Ash, being recycled back in the deck to then negate again, maybe we should reconsider this card. It's also great against Max C. They Max C you early, you could then Diablo Star, set it up, and pass. Draw phase, Wanted to play around an imposing draw and Lockbird. That is ideal. Otherwise, we have no hand traps in sight. Now, this is... Poplar itself is a good 1-card combo. It's not the best, but we do have Diablo Star in addition to this play, plus the original Sinful. Ambler Whale is ready to get popped by the Promethean on a special summon. Let's see what we can do here. Now, I see a lot of people not playing around impermanence, and I heard the argument of if they didn't use imperm on my first turn, then they very likely don't have impermanence for the second turn, thus the Flameburge really doesn't have to play around it. That's true, but unlikely doesn't mean impossible. They just drew into imperm, so by waiting for them to put a card on the field, that is when you'd want to use the Flameburge and not use it early to summon the Masquerena. Diablo Star, there we go. It's now safe to use Flameburge, playing around the impermanence. And we gave up the opportunity to cross out, designate, negate the Flameburge. We could have done it, but then it would have negated ours for the rest of the turn. So what do you really do here when it comes to the mirror match with cross out, designate? Setting up our original Sinful, Masquerena now linking this off into our Apollo USA, all played through an impermanence perfectly, by the way. Call by the... Oh, this is weird. This is weird. Weird. We weren't willing to negate the Flameburge on the field with our crossout, which would have negated our Flameburge for the rest of the turn, but now we're going to negate it? I think this is not... If we were planning on using Called By, I think this is not good use, right? Who's with me on this? We should have crossout designated. You could argue that losing a Flameburge by banishing it, your second copy, could potentially be an issue. We're going to be sending the Diablo Star, summoning the Ash, main phase 2, triggering the field spell, summoning the negated Flameburge from the back row, and imperm negate. Or I guess the argument is save crossout, designate for a better card like impermanence. I guess so, yeah. You know what? But that Apollo USA was quite disruptive. until it wasn't. We easily dealt with it with the Diablo Star, so maybe we actually played this out quite well. Maybe I go back on all that. I was just excited to see that cross out Designate Negate. Draw and Lockbird, locking us out of further adding cards from the deck to our hand here. The Poplar will still get summoned. You can still link this up into Fucho. Wait, this is not how you Zeus. So what you do is, there's two cards that are good to use. There's one that can protect itself from destruction the first time it would be destroyed. And then there's Fucho. Fucho is good from being unaffected by everything to attack into a defense position monster to go into Zeus. The other exceed rank 1 is the, let me just bring it up real quick. So you have 3 options here. You have Fucho, unaffected from everything, can go into a defense monster. And you have Nightingale, which can attack directly and can negate an effect that would target it. And then you have Slacker, which can negate an effect that targets this, right? Oh, no, this actually does not negate being targeted. So this could be impermanenced. This is unaffected from everything but attacking a defense. And this can be protected from being destroyed by battle, but can negate an effect that would target it. So this was really good against a deck like Kashtira. You would want to use Slacker Magician. All right, so, we have the wrong one. You are negated and it's unaffected. Okay. Unaffected by other card effects. But the Fucho has an additional effect where it's not about summoning Zeus, where it should almost guarantee you from having another turn. Because you detach 2 materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card for the rest of the turn. So if you instead think of it in that way and not about summoning Zeus, then the Fucho was the correct card. But extending the duel in an additional turn, is that really going to be a big deal? We'll find out. Triggering the effect of Poplar being sent to the grave, equipping to the back row, can't be destroyed, unaffected by everything. It did guarantee that additional turn here, which we top decked in Ash, so it looks like it worked out. We're going to steal the opponent's Poplar, summoning it onto our field during the draw phase here. Activate, search our deck for an original Sinful. Wow. Fucho was the way, actually. I think so. Fucho guaranteeing another turn. We could tribute over the Flameburge and the Poplar to have a quite large Divine Incarnate here. Ash on summon, searching our deck. Yeah, the Fucho, the thing is, if we wanted to Fucho in main phase 1 to do I know that we were in main phase 2, but if we wanted to make our Zeus play, that is what we would have to do. And I just wanted to use this opportunity to talk about the 3 main rank 1s of making Zeus. But then we saw that not only is this a good way to make Zeus, it's a good way to guarantee another turn. Even though, yes, it was main phase 2. All right, link Karibo, link this up into Dark. Dark, steal a Dark monster from the opponent's graveyard. We are under Max C, though. What is going on? Get ready. Further linking this up into Apollo USA, double monster negate. Tributing 2 cards off the field for our Kurikara Divine Incarnate. We have 6,100 damage on the field here. Snake Eyes Flameburst triggering to reborn 2 monsters from the grave, but it is going to be negated by the Apollo USA. Negate! Now, Flameburge, Birch is here. Stealing the opponent's Ash with the Divine Temple off of your summon. As I said in the mirror match, the field spell steals your opponent's cards, so you do want to make note of that. We're going to negate the Link Kuribo from reducing us to 0 by reducing ourselves to 0. Gotcha. And Divine Incarnate could steal a monster during the end phase, but don't think we're really gonna. We're kind of scooping here. Let's be real. We are just going all out. Not negating the Kurikara, we're going to negate the Hida instead. From attempting to steal the Flameburst from the grave, Kurikara could just steal it anyway. Snake Eye Chase setting up the Diablo Star, which it's more draws from Max C. I'm going to steal your Masquerena, give you another draw, triggering the Promethean Princess to take it out anyway, and then we're going to summon the Diablo Star within the end phase under Max C, draw again. Oh my gosh. Absolutely decimated by the Max C. Now, the Nibiru cannot be activated during the end phase. All right, we only have 11 cards here. Promethean attempt to reborn. Silvera negate the hard once per turn effect here. Just like that, you will not be reborning from the graveyard. And we have no more disruption. That's it. Diablo Star being triggered. Maxi again with 12 cards left in our deck, drawing off of that special summon, not leading into any further disruption. We have no field spell at least. We got nothing. Well, the Flame Burst being sent will trigger to summon 2 level 1 fires, which is not going to be turning into more disruption, but it will fill up our fields. I'm going to be shocked if we survive another turn. Ain't no way. Birch could summon in a monster from the deck. Ash is getting, not saving Ash for the Birch is a situation. Where's the Oak at? Is Oak in the deck? Birch into Oak is our play. Yep, we're gonna Birch into Oak. Borreload will be able to negate the Oak if we chain Birch to the Borreload. We're not gonna even do that. 1 for 1, discard a monster to summon a level 1 monster from the deck. We're gonna then send our draw, summon our Diablo Star for even more damage on the field here, summoning our own Divine Carnate Kurikara, putting our field at 13,000 damage. Hida ready to steal a monster from the opposing graveyard, stealing the Flame Burge, using the Birch to summon from the deck. Borreload says, no, I will negate. Now, it looks like Borreload has 3 more negates, which is true, but it is still a hard once per turn effect. It can't negate again within the same turn. Flame Burge is here. Flame Burge could push the Kurikara into the back row, and that is going to be the play that results in us surrendering. Very nice back and forth from both players. The 1 banana, putting Silvera into discussion, back into the discussion. An interesting play with Fucho, guaranteeing another turn in the mirror match. Because if you think about it, Snake Eyes has really good follow-up with the original Sinful in the grave being able to search for a Snake Eyes Ash. That's crazy. So being able to guarantee another turn, I like that. It really reminds me of making the Leerlusk on my turn 1 as a purely player. It gives me that same energy. Nice. Ash, activate the Poplar, grab the Poplar special on the field. We're going to see if we have the anti-Nibiru play. I'll tell you if we do it. Bahamut. Magna Hut, that is. When I say Bahamut. Mahut, Hut, negate, banish the Masquerina, stop it from equipping. Damn. Got him. Got him. He's been got. Yep, you've been got. Holy moly. Swarm Ship, come forth and summon. So what's funny is the play I was discussing could actually make an early Apollo USA to negate the Magna Hut from doing that. And in the TCG, they are doing that. So you would equip the Oak, you would then send the Oak and the Ash to summon the Flame Burge, then Flame Burge and the Poplar would make the Masquerina, which would trigger summon Oak and summon 2 level 1 fires. So you'd have 3 level 1 fires and the Masquerina. And that's when the opponent would probably want to Nibiru, but you'd have a Flame Burge in the back row. But then you could just go straight into Apollo USA, and then use the Ash or Oak that you have not activated yet on the field to then further go into the play, and then that would have stopped the Magna Hut. So maybe that's going to be the standard play because it counters Nibiru, and it also counters Magna Hut. Now, there's a legal cheating trick with the anti-Nibiru play that I'm talking about, which on the resolution of summoning your 3 level 1 fires in the Masquerina, you will then see the opponent's field light up. With their field lighting up, if it wasn't lighting up at any other moment within the duel, that means they have Nibiru. And then you could make your decisions based off of that. You could then go, okay, I'm definitely going to make my Apollo USA to negate your Nibiru. Or you could just be okay with it and be like, you know, fine, I'll add a Promethean Princess to my play, because then if you Nibiru, Promethean Princess will now be in my graveyard and I'll have the same play otherwise. So it's some good stuff. And maybe I'll release an updated Snake Eyes guide with some other plays now that the meta has flourished a bit more since the guide was released, which is, I was rewatching the guide yesterday. I'm like, wow, it's still really up to date and good. But there's some other combos I want to add to it. All right, let's go. So we got lots of Bystials here. And it's thought that Bystials are not good against Snake Eyes. Even I've said that. But using a Bystial to banish the Masquerina, that's pretty good. Branded Opening and the Branded in High Spirits, summoning our Alubur, all within the draw phase, which not only plays around Droll, it also plays around Valor. And Valor is at top usage. If we were to go to the official in-game usage rankings, Valor's now, it went from 19% to 38%, well, 37.8. So even more so wanting to play within the draw phase around the main phase. We have Branded Lost. We're going to use our Flame Burge to summon our Flame Burge from the back row. Sure. Did I see... Okay, let's stop real quick. I don't know how we got into this topic, but did I see in a YCS the dude move the opponent's monster and then Animud? Yes. So what happened was I would pick up this Flame Burge to read it, and then I go, oh, okay, and then I put it back on the field right here. And then my immediate play afterward is to summon an Anima and then suck it up. But then the opponent realized, hey, you moved my card. Now, you could argue that the opponent let him cheat, which is also cheating because both players are responsible for a proper game state. So, hey, this dude moved my card. I'm not going to say anything until they do something about it, like Anima. And then, by calling out that you moved the card, I believe the judge ruled that your Anima still must be summoned, but then the monster is summoned back. So we did some kind of weird... We rewound the game state to properly put the monster in the correct monster zone, but we didn't rewind... We like rewound and fast-forwarded to your Anima that you still had to summon. I don't know if I agree with that, but all right. A lot of people would agree with it because they're like, screw that guy. If you moved a card, you should have to summon that Anima and you don't get to take it back. So there is a case there where you want to see the cheater get cheated in a way. Anyway, beyond that, Aldaz fusing with the Amblo Whale going into Mirror Jade here. Now, we can't activate the Promethean Princess in response to a fusion summon. So when are we going to even Promethean Princess? In a way, Branded kind of counters the deck, right? We have non-target monster banish, and we of course know the Flame Burge wants to be in the graveyard and not get banished. We're going to recycle the Branded Fusion in the graveyard back to our hand, activate the Branded Fusion, get negated by the Ash, cross out Designate, negate, the negate. And we're also going to toss in Mirror Jade. Why not? Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish, get a Flame Burge off the field. Let's get to it. And we still can't Promethean Princess. The Branded Lost is protecting us from the princess being summoned. What do we do? As long as we keep Chainlink 1ing our summons, she's not going to be able to summon. So Chainlink 1, again, come forward, summon, Lubellion. It's going to be Chainlink 1, again, can't Promethean Princess. Just keep Chainlink 1ing. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 1. Mirror Jade is here, and we can activate again. Non-target monster banish. So, oh my gosh, we just got to be... We perfectly played around Promethean Princess just to get Nibiru'd. Damn. That's wild. That just happens. That's how it happens. And you know what? It was a valiant effort. It was well played. It's not over, though. The banishment could still summon a Mirror Jade and non-target monster banish. Nibiru's usage really went up, huh? Let's look up the Nibiru. Nibiru went from 49 to 58. I feel like it wasn't played at 49. I felt the usage was lower because, you know, it's only a 10% increase, really. I feel like everyone's playing Nibiru now, and a lot of them. Grab the Poplar trigger, come forth in special, Jet Synchron, discard the original Sinful. We're going to be returning the original Sinful to now draw a card randomly. Now we have Oak, we have Borreload, Savage Dragon. We have used up our normal summon already. Borreload is attempting to set up its Omni Negate. Now Quem's being triggered to reborn the Mirror Jade, but by the time Mirror Jade is summoned and is activatable, the Borreload is going to be able to negate its effects. But there's a situation here where we could make the Borreload not negate the Mirror Jade, and to do that, you would activate Branded Banishment to then perform a fusion summon, and in response to the fusion summon, you would activate Mirror Jade in that window of not being able to respond to the fusion summon to then banish. Are we doing something like that? Promethean Princess being triggered off of the special summon, come forth and reborn from the grave. We are locked into fire only, by the way. We are going to use our Boar Load to negate the Mirror Jade. Rinbrum is going to chain summon Albaz from the graveyard to then fuse with the Mirror Jade or the Promethean Princess. Maybe Promethean before it activates, but both of our Flame Burges, that's it. They're both banished. And you don't play more than 2. It's gone from the duel. Albaz discard, get Fusion Summoning. We can't fuse into another Mirror Jade because you can only control 1. We are going to be making Boar Load Furious 2 Dark Dragons. This is giving us the ability to pop any card in the field in response to our own monster. Now, how come Ash is activating in response to a Fusion Summon? If we look at the Chainlink orders here, the Chainlink summon was on Chainlink 2. Did they make a mistake? No, because Chainlink 1 was the opponent. So the opponent made Branded Lost miss the timing on the protection. Get negated. And let's resolve that Poplar, grabbing our Snake Eye Original Sinful. We can now Boar Load Furious, popping before the Promethean activates, the Ambler Whale triggering, popping any card in the field, non-targeting. By the time they select the back row to destroy, that's it. You can't then say, I'm gonna activate it. On the selection, that is on resolution, it's gone. A crazy duel. That was actually quite crazy. Yup, I think so. Very nice. Keeper of Dragon Magic, grabbing our Branded Fusion. Droll and Lockbird. Do we really care about Droll? I don't think we care that much. We are going to be sending from the deck to the grave Lubellion and Albaz to trigger our Albion to banish the Albaz from the graveyard, plus another dark monster that's not itself to make our Lubellion. Lubellion activate by discarding to now make our Mirror Jade. And normally when Branded was released, on release, we would have to activate Mirror Jade's effect on our first turn to get the effect of Albion. But through newer support, we could leave the Mirror Jade activation open to be activated during the opponent's turn, and instead tribute the Albion with the Lubellion, also setting up a Branded Lost. So now with the Branded Lost, the banishment will trigger it to search for a Mercurier for an additional monster negate. The Mirror Jade is a non-target monster banish. The banishment itself will be able to fuse with the opposing field if there's a valid fusion. So we have about triple disruption here, not counting any other factors. And let's hit him with the Maxi. Why not? It is an inherent special summon to summon that Diablo Star. It doesn't activate to summon. And now the Maxi's got it. And we didn't play into a triple tactics talent, which is also becoming more popular. We are now using Branded Banishment and ensuring that it's on Chainlink 1. We could have, a lot of people would make this mistake. So to even make this play, you can't really tell, but you have to have your toggle on. If your toggle's on auto, this play's not even possible. So a normal player with the toggle on auto would activate Banishment in response to the Diablo Star activating, which would make the Lost miss the timing on protecting your Fusion Summon. So toggle on resolution, making sure to Chainlink 1 the Fusion Summon, and just like this, you cannot respond to its summon. And we could Chainlink 2 Mirror Jade, banish a card in the field, and if they had Forbidden Droplet, they couldn't use it. You would not be able to use Droplet on Mirror Jade if you were activating Mirror Jade in response to the Dragostapelia summon that happened on Chainlink 1, which we did through Chainlink, having the toggle on to make sure it was a Chainlink 1 summon. And we got that monster negate, and the Dragostapelia is an additional disruption here. Negate a monster, banish a monster, and negate a monster. After fusing with their monster, Original Sinful, send by cost. Yeah, we are under max C2, not cool. Mercurier, negate the Ash. Now the Mercurier is not negating the other effect of Ash, which will be able to summon a monster from the deck, but only if they have another face-up card to send to even activate that effect. Very well done from both players so far. Let's hop into game 3. Draw phase to play around the Droll, grabbing the Diablo Star. Send Diablo Star for our Diablo Star. We did not maxi early. I guess we were afraid of Gamma. I think Gamma is not so popular. Ash, negate. We do not care about your maxi. We're going all the way. But this is still pretty good. This is still Promethean Princess pop on special. This is still Baron de Floor. So we got some disruption here. Albaz. Ooh, this is something that we definitely need to imperm negate. We're gonna chain the Formula Synchron going into our Baron de Floor right here, right now. Baron de Floor would not be able to negate this, by the way. So your first play being a normal summon to Albaz countered the Formula Synchron if it weren't for the impermanence. We had to imperm, and there was no way to get the Baron de Floor out earlier. Through the effect of Formula Synchron, that is. We are going to be using the Ash to grab a Kurikara to be used next turn. We are aggressively summoning our monsters in attack position. Baron de Floor negating the special summon of Cartesia. Are we gonna thrust for something good or what? Just thrust for a branded fusion? Thrusting duplication into the back row. Okay. Verte Anaconda. Now, Ash is not activatable, but the Promethean Princess obviously is activatable on the summon of the Verte Anaconda here. Albion Shrouded sending branded fusion to copy it with the duplication. We're going to draw in Lockbird in case they, I guess, drew into an Alibur maybe? Sure. Now, duplication cannot get ashed, even though we're copying an ashable effect. We're also triggering, okay. And now, duplication, copy branded fusion. Let's do it. Baron de Floor negate is gone. Copy, copy. And duplication also does not give you the protection of branded lost on summon because it's not a fusion summon card. Its effect is to copy a card. Its effect isn't fusion summoning. Its effect isn't sending from the deck to the grave. That's why you can't use Ash on it. We have Albion, and we also have Mercurier ready to negate any monster effect. Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, untargetable. It can reborn Albaz from our graveyard to then fuse with the opposing field into a Mirror Jade. Kurikara. Oh boy, this is interesting. To battle we go, just like that. Not much we could do, and I think it's over. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Albion, during your opponent's turn, could have activated during the battle phase though, right? Summon, well, wait. We can't Albion because all monster zones are locked up. There's two, that if we were waiting to Albion summon Albaz, as soon as they put the Kurikara on the field, which you can't respond to its being summoned, you could respond to its summon, but by the time it was summoned, there was no room to use the Sanctifier Dragon. We couldn't activate its effect. You have to be able to summon a monster on both sides of the fields. And Konami banned me for exposing that. Okay. Well, let's hop on another one. How much so is it the best deck? We're going over the tier list. It is at 33 power level. Yeah, you know, that's what happens when you are not playing Snake Eyes. You end on 0 disruption. That's expected. It's okay. We did get to top 16 somehow. I'm not sure how, but I'm sure we'll see it within game 2 and game 3. Max C. Negate. Now, surely through an Ash, can we perform lethal damage? Send to summon our Diablo Star. Diablo Star setting up the original Sinful. We now have our Snake Eye Field spell. This could be a good use of Ash here. We could instead use the Ash on the effect to summon from the deck through the effect of Ochre Ash. So we do not Ash that. We also don't Ash the effect of Poplar. We do not Ash. We also don't Ash to draw. Let them draw. Don't Ash. Now, negate. There you go. A good instance where we didn't even use it on the original. We waited for the effect of summoning from the deck with Ash or Oak. Poplar being triggered, putting Ash into the back row, send the Ash to come forth and summon. We got our Flame Burge Dragon. Normal summon our Ash, making our Hida. Could have made a Baron de Floor there if you wanted to. Reborn the opposing Ash. Let's do this. Are we going for lethal or what? Promethean Princess, locking us in a fire only. Summon a fire monster from our grave back onto the field. Putting our Hida into the back row as we now make our Amblo Whale. With Amblo Whale, we're making our World Sea Dragon, Zealantis. Zealantis is going to be banishing the entire field, reborning itself and the Flameburge Dragon, plus the opposing monster, which will trigger the effect of the Promethean Princess to reborn from the grave. Now, Flameburst already activated its engrave effect? I don't think so, did it? It did not, so we have lethal damage. 52, 72, 9100 damage. Lethal through Ash Blossom. Very well done from Atoning. And what the coolest way to lethal someone. I love it. We even had more pops. The Zealantis could have popped 2 cards in the field within the battle phase. Neospatian Connector, which we discussed this earlier in the stream. The question was, if you save Ash for Isold and they summon a Neospace Connector, what do? Well, the Dolphin would rip the Ash out of your hand anyway, so you are just out of options. You have to Ash. You pretty much do. You got to. And unfortunately for you, we have the Fireflint Lady, which would be able to special summon to then make our Isold. Now, looking at the hand to confirm that there's no more hand traps in the hand. If Atoning does not surrender early, this is full combo. Write this down if you want to play Infernoble. Okay. Now, there is a situation where if you think your opponent has impermanence, and instead of making Isold, you go right for Angelica. You can't imperm Angelica, and then you should. Even with them having impermanence in the hand, if you summon Angelica, you could get to Charles with the ability to negate impermanence. And if you have an equip card in the hand even, you could discard that equip card to negate imperm. So there is a way, which not a lot of people are going to do. A Japanese player actually did it to me, and trust me, I held imperm for Isold, and they skipped Isold, went for Angelica, and there was nothing I could do. First time Chad. Discard to summon our Diablo Star. We have no hand trap in sight, and I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with this line of thinking, this play. I'm being told that we do this to play around Super Poly. I guess this would be good against Branded because they play Super Poly. Otherwise, this is nearly guaranteeing another turn. Okay, interesting. Okay, this is something. This is something. That's a weird turn 1. It's weird. But I welcome it. I like seeing different things. All right, let's go, let's go. We have Diablo Star starting off our play, setting up into the back row our original Sinful. Because the Leer Lusk has been activated, they take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. We are chain summoning our Masquerade onto the field, making sure we do so around Impermanence. So waiting for them to have a card in the field. We are going to make a Goddess. Linking off with the Diablo Star into Underworld Goddess, which further has the effect to negate an effect to summon from the grave, which we saw earlier with Ricardetto and even the effect of Turpin and the effect of Promethean Princess. A bunch of effects we'd be able to negate with it. And the original Sinful now has no face-up card to send to the grave to summon from the deck. Heritage will search for the Museum. Museum could search for nothing because we got drolled. Gosh. What the? Wait, it was 1-1. I'm sorry. Infernoble did win game 2. That was game 3. And just like that, it is over. Hikari. Maybe someone has the job of only working on the ban list. And they had to do something to keep their job. Because they couldn't just do nothing. And that is my main theory for the ban list that just happened. Mo Yi on summon, reveal, give us nothing as the droplet negates. We just revealed a Long Yun telling us that there's more to come. Get ready. And when your Mo Yi gets negated and you have a Long Yun, your play is a little bit different. You don't just go straight into the level 10 Synchro if you could help it. If you have a Blackout in your deck, you banish the Blackout with your level 8 Synchro, which will then summon another token, so then you'll have a Monster Negate plus your Baron de Fleur. Making the Grandmaster. Mo Yi activating to draw. You do want to put the Mo Yi on a higher chain link so it does not get negated. We play more than one Blackout. Okay. Blackout token, exactly what I said. Making our Chang Ying over Baron to floor here. Very nicely done. Burn for that 1200. And lethal damage, right? No, it's not. He's 31. I was looking at the 59. He's not that big. 2,000 life, though. We have the ability to negate a monster, pop 2 cards on the field, negate a monster, negate an effect to summon or search from the deck. And by using the effect of the Grandmaster or using Blackout on Chang Ying, we could then trigger the effect to banish a card in the field and in the grave. So we have about 5 disruptions to play through. I don't think we could do it. Idol Reborn, reborning Picari. Okay. Not negating. We're going to link this off into Dark Infant, searching for the field spell. This could be a negate here. Imperm, 4 more disruptions left. Cross out Designate, negate the negate, add another negate onto the Infant. So you told us that this was a card worth negating with that cross out Designate, so we will add on top of that negate. Very well done. We still have Ash, we still have Chang Ying, we still have Blackout pop 2, banish, and negate a search or special. We're banishing right now. Okay. We have pop 2 and negate the Signet Mining with the Ash. Okay. And all we have left is Blackout pop 2 cards on the field. With the I Meet You being activatable. Let's go. Let's pop off. Except for the Blackout going to stop our pop off. I Chi-Chi, add the Doyen. This wasn't searched for, so we don't know that that card exists. It's a complete secret, which will no longer be a secret as soon as we get the field spell on the field and we activate it. Okay, we're doing it right here, right now. Boom. Dark Infant and field spell be gone. As we now end our turn, burn for 23 because we did not summon the monster we searched for. Damn. Wait, how's that effect work again? The I Meet You is take 23 if you did not special summon or a monster with the same name. Take 23 if you did not special summon the revealed monster. You reveal from the extra deck. You did not special summon it. So it's not the card that you searched for, you didn't summon it. The card you revealed did not get special, you burn. I Meet You, reveal the Heatsil, grab the Achichi. When do you Ash? Well, if you Ash the field spell search and they already have a field spell, you're in trouble. It's high risk, high reward. And the reward did not pay off. The risk was they already have the field spell. That's all it was searching. Now that did absolutely nothing. And now we're left with the DD Crow. And I'm thinking, what is our DD Crow gonna be able to DD Crow? So spin back 2 cards, negate, negate, Valor, negate. We have about 4 disruptions plus a chance to draw into a hand trap. Do we have anything that is activatable in the graveyard that's good? No, nothing. Oh, well, we do have the Wind Pegasus. If you destroy a card that we control, we could then spin a card you control back in the deck. That is something that's kind of disruption, so I'll say 5. And let's do it. Eat Soul in a hand trap. Not the right hand trap. We have Maxi, though. No way to stop it. With 5 disruptions, can we play through it? The Shuda is here. Link off into the Tenyi. We don't want to... We could spin the Monka Tenyi back to the hand, but we're not doing so. The Shuda is going to be negated by the Dark Fluid, now down to 4 disruptions. We just drew into an Ash, so we are at 6 disruptions, now down to 5. Now we're at 6 disruptions. we went from 5 disruptions, now we're going up. All right, Dark Fluid is negating, so we have Singularity, Ash, Valor, Valor, Ash, negate, so we have Valor, Valor, Singularity. 3 more disruptions left. We are scooping it up going into game 3. Did any Dragon Link players actually quit the game? I'm curious about that. Killing that deck, baiting them into super heavy, and then whipping out Snake Eyes. It was quite dirty. Wow. Max C is pretty damn good, if I do say so. We did have more plays. We could have normal summoned Taya, Banish could have linked. We could have, let's, if we would have played this out, Monkatenyi, draw. Taya, Banish, draw. Level 8 Synchro, draw. Search for the Swordsoul, the big one, and then that would be special summon, draw. Summon a token, draw. Synchro and a level 10, draw. That's draw 6 for a level 8 Synchro and a level 10 Synchro. That's what Maxi did. Imperm, negate. Not negating the Dark Infant. Negating the Achichi instead. And then they, of course, whip out that they have Circular. Ain't no freaking way. Reborn the Sigma, sent from the deck to the grave, searching for our equation. We're going to now make our rank 4 Xyz into the Alan Burt. Alan Burt, detach, search our deck for an addition to special summon. They're banning Ambler Whale 100%. Okay, chat, screenshot that. Remember this. It'll actually be immortalized on YouTube, and we will not forget. We have Cyberse Wicked now. Link off into where the Wicked's pointing to, which will search our deck for the Burrow. Dark Infant, grab the field spell. Wicked, banish our Circular to grab that Burrow. Let's speed this up. Come to us. The problem with Ignister going second is it's going to take more than 10 minutes for them to beat you. You probably should just surrender. We have no disruption, no protection. There's no secrets in the hand or in the graveyard. There is just nothing. So let's speed this up. Come forth, reborn from the grave, win Pegasus, trigger Burrow, reborn the Pakari, activate, grab the I Meet You, link this off into the transcode talker, reborn to where it's pointing to. We're going to then I Meet You, search for a Doyen. We're going to triple link this up into the Dark Templar, special summon the Doyen, and then add back a card to be used later. We're gonna link this off into the Dark Infant. Now you could chain link block the Dark Templar here, as the Dark Infant wants to directly chain to it, moving on over to summon 3 cards from the graveyard. And then we're going to further link this up into the Firewall Dragon. Firewall, return a card in the graveyard back to our hand. Further linking this up into the Singularity. Where the Singularity is pointing to, that monster's going to leave the field, triggering Singularity to reborn the Dark Templar. We're going to then spin back the Vashuda, now going into a Dark Fluid. Dark Fluid's going to be double monster negate as we reborn the... Okay, just lethal damage with the Dark Fluid, going to 8,000 during the battle phase, just like that. All right, nicely done. Winning in style. Imperm on Albert is correct. You do this. Yup. Negate. We got Super Poly. Super Poly, Fusion Duplication with nothing to copy. I mean, this feels bad because you're supposed to maybe have a Veiler, right? You Veiler the Albert, then you get to thrust your duplication into the back row. If you maybe your branded fusion got negated by an Ash, that'd be the play. Then your triple tactics talent would also pop off. There was so much we could have done, but this is the power of impermanence not being a monster. Also, not being fingerable. You can't finger it, you can't TTT it, you can't thrust it, nothing. Ash is here. Come to us, Poplar trigger. Do we have something spicy in the extra deck to summon off of the Super Poly? I'm looking for spice. I don't see spice. I see Wicked Coritis. Our Despia plus a lighter dark monster, that's something. We have, yeah, it's not, Dragos Tapelia is not gonna be anything. So this is it, let's go. Super Polymerization, fusing with the fields, Link Karibo and Albert making Quiritis. Quiritis could reduce the opposing fields to 0 attack, which we're doing right now. Okay. We're gonna look at that hand and be like, damn, your hand sucks. Put that back in the deck, and let's keep on playing. Back row's dead. It is no good. Well, wait, we could target the fusion, quick play in the graveyard, apply, copy Super Poly. What could that even do? Quiritis plus a dark monster? Isn't that something? Right now, like dark and Quiritis? Wasn't that it? Is this it? Whoa, Promethean and the Oak to make a Moo Dragon. Okay. Instead of Dragos Tapelia, I guess I could respect that. That was pretty good. Okay, duplication on Super Poly, that's something. Let's go in. Veiler and Imperm are incredible against Snake Eyes. But a Finger and a Designate is waiting to simply negate. Ash, negate the Ash of the Veiler. You definitely want to be using that. It would also stop its second effect, but the Finger is waiting. It's here. Finger the Veiled. And then what do we have from here? What could we really do? Do we have a Wanted or an Original in the graveyard? We have Original. So we could potentially go through there. Poplar triggering. We got full. This is too much. Let's speed this up. Grabbing the Divine Temple, setting up into the back row from the deck or grave. Send the Flame Burst from the back row, trigger, reborn 2 level 1 fires from the grave. Oak, trigger, reborn another level 1 fire from the grave. The field is getting boosted and then now reduced down to 0 thanks to the Caritis. Poplar, trigger, put into the back row our Flame Burge. Finally using the Original Sinful to then grab a Kurikara. Well, you activated both of your monsters, didn't you? Yes, you did. Kurikara Divine Incarnate is here at 5,600 attack. Hida could steal a fire monster from the grave if there even is one, which there isn't. Further making an access code talker, which a lot of people don't have room for. But boost up the access code talker and then attack for game. Very nicely done from both players. Fusion deployment against Ghost Ogre and DD Crow. DD Crow could be good. We're going to destroy the Cartesia with the Ghost Ogre so you can't fuse with it into the Gangrenol. But unfortunately, there is an Albaz in the hand. That is unlucky. DD Crow does nothing to Lubellion. Banishing the Albaz from the grave with DD Crow would do nothing. You could return a banished card back in the deck. No good. No bueno. But there are many circumstances where DD Crow would be good against Branded. If they go for the Albion, send Lubellion and Albaz in the deck play, that is when you would DD Crow the Albaz. Now we have the non-target monster banished, plus a card that not a lot of people play, but this card's very interesting. It negates the whole field, everything, including your own cards besides the fusion you choose, which would be the Mirror Jade. So we have full field negate, non-target monster banish, plus the Ash Blossom will be able to negate a special summon for the deck or search. Let's get to it. Let's go, let's go. There's no Albaz in the graveyard, so a Rinbrum play is not possible. Ooh, we have to negate this. This is interesting. Diablo-Star could search this, Poplar could search this. It's really good for going second. It will push the Mirror Jade into the back row. We have to negate. There we go. Forcing up the negate. Alibur also gets negated, which we obviously do not care about. Negate, 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 full negate. We still have Ash and Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish. Triple Tactics Talent is not going to be activatable unless that Ash is fired off early, which we now have a finger for, randomly being drawn into. So we could stop one of the disruptions here. Poplar equipping itself into the back row as the Diablo-Star is grabbing an Original Sin. I do believe Original Sin may be the Ash attempt here, which will turn on our Triple Tactics Talent as we finger her. Negate with the Call by the Grave. Now, Triple Tactics Talent can try to take control of Mirror Jade. That's it. Our final disruption. So it's going to non-target monster banish. And it will choose what you take control of on resolution. Yep. Trigger the Poplar first. Of course, got to get through all the trigger. We did not activate TTT yet. We're summoning Flame Burge. It looks like we're going to TTT draw 2 instead. No, we're still taking control after the banish. Okay. To battle we go. 3K, 2,500. What can we main phase 2 this up into as we make a dark, steal a dark monster from the opposing graveyard, stealing the Alibur. With Alibur and dark, we can make a Promethean Princess, Promethean, reborn the Flame Burge. I don't think we activated the... Wait, Flame Burge is banished, so we actually can't do that. That's something. We do have Promethean with the Amphibian. Using DD Crow before the Albion activates in the end phase, that is good, so it does not search for a Branded Fusion. Okay. Cartesia adding back to the hand. We do have the Promethean ready and waiting. Promethean's our main play. We have the Original Sinful for the next turn follow-up if we survive this turn, which we should be able to. Now, is Promethean going to be enough to stop a Branded Fusion? Popping the Albion here is not good. That's not something we would want to get popping with. Branded opening could stop the Promethean from even popping at all if we even had that as a valid play. This is when we want to Promethean. Non-target monster banish, banishing the amphibious swarm ship. The Promethean will still pop the Mirror Jade. Is there another Alibur in the graveyard? There is. So Alibur can now get triggered, but you can only use one of its effects and only once that turn, so it does not get triggered since this Alibur activated. Tribute to summon our Lubellion into defense, so it looks like we're not being as aggressive as we want to. We're going to recycle the Brightest Blazing Branded King with a Branded Loss alongside ourselves. The Quem is going to send from the deck to the grave in Albaz. We're going to grab we have to toggle on. Toggle on, add Brandon Red, activate Brandon Red, trigger the Lost. Damn, we're making plays in the end phase. This is the way. Add the Albaz. Using with the Albaz and our on-field Alibur, Lubellion into Mirror Jade. Let's do it. Are we out of Mirror Jades, actually? We have a Mirror Jade in the grave and a Mirror Jade banished. Now, you could return the Mirror Jade back on the deck, but you then can't summon that same Mirror Jade you returned. Quem's going to reborn the properly summoned Mirror Jade anyway from the graveyard, so we don't have to go into Mirror Jade. We also have a Mercurier, Monster. There's way too many disruptions here. This is too much. We'll talk about it once we end the turn, because we got a lot. Taking out the Promethean, Cartesia recycled back to the hand. Holy moly. We have full field negate, non-target monster banish, pop any card in the field, monster negate. What are you gonna do? Nothing. It's over. There's no Albaz in the graveyard. Okay, so there is no reborn play with that. Or disruption, or Mercurier, negate. Okay, 3 more disruption here. Banish, pop, full field negate, Linkuriboh, mate, then end the turn. Okay, wipe out that Linkuriboh. All we have left is a Max C. Okay, 8,000 life points here. We don't even special summon. And just like that, April taking this into game 3. Very well done. Paid actor. Ash, Veil. Veil, Imperm, that is the way. I would even further extend into Ghost Mourner being good. It is not activatable on the normal summon, but a special summon. Off of original, off of 1-for-1, off of the effect of Ash summoning an Oak. That's when the Ghost Mourner could be good and be used. I would not Ghost Mourner a Poplar. I would Ghost Mourner the Oak. Or Ash if you could do it on Ash. Set the Ash, come forth, Diablo Star. Now, I've been hearing and seeing in today's event the anti-Super Poly lines. We're not going to really see it because we're under Max C, and I've said this multiple times. Silvera is great against Max C. There we go, we got our negate. Fusion deployment, summoning our Albaz. Albaz will activate to fuse with the field actually passed on the trigger. Chain Super Poly. Can't be negated by Silvera. Fusing with the field into our Lubellion. Now, Lubellion will activate, and so will Diablo Star. Thus, the Silvera can't negate the Lubellion because there's no Diablo Star to send. Not yet. Wait, you discarded the finger? The finger could have fingered Diablo Star trying to summon, which then turns on the Silvera. We'll see if we regret that. Because we're going to be searching for a follow-up. We are going to now be able to negate with Silvera, not the Lubellion, of course. Was discarding the finger a good idea? I think we needed it. Fusion Shokan into the Mirror Jade. Non-target monster banish, which will, of course, be negated by Silvera potentially. We could just battle over her, and then Silvera's not activatable, then we just wait. Interested with what we'll do with the Triple Tactics talent. We could attempt to steal her so that Silvera will not be activatable. The Silvera is public knowledge. Grabbing the original Sinful, activating Mirror Jade early, Silvera, negate. Okay. Are we drawing 2 with TTT? Is this the way? Triple T, going for that draw 2 play. We have not normal summoned yet, drawing into another Super Poly, thrusting a branded fusion into our hand. Now, DD Crow is good. Could be good, yes. We could banish the Albaz, but they already have a Mirror Jade, so it's not that big of a deal. It's still kind of good. I'm curious if banishing Lubellion here would maybe be better. The Albaz and the Titanclad could have been a Mirror Jade with already having a Mirror Jade on the field. All right. We could banish the Mirror Jade and Albaz if we want to. So maybe banishing the Albaz was something we want to do. Okay. We have Cartesia activating. In response to that, we have Mood Dragon changing the attribute to light to make our Gangrel. Gangrel on summon, sending a monster from the extra deck or deck to the grave. To battle we go. The Albion will be activating during the end phase. Clear up the field. Not enough for lethal damage, but how much disruptions can we set up? We activated the soft per 2 turns effect of Mirror Jade, so it's not activatable during the next turn. Cartesia add back. Quem could reborn the Mirror Jade if we super poly with it. That's something. And we have full field negate. Okay, so let's talk about this. We can negate the whole field. We could fuse with the Mirror Jade. That will trigger the Quem to reborn the Mirror Jade to non-target monster banish. So we have about 3 good disruptions. And the Rinbrum could reborn Albaz potentially to further fuse. So it's like 3 to 4. Let's see what we do. Wanted for Diablo-Star. We do have an Ogre. Is Ogre going to even be good? I don't think so. I'll be surprised. Diablo-Star setting up in the back row. Poplar triggering to set up an Ash. The field spell could trigger off of any special summoning they do. We do have the ability to Sinful Spoils, Subversion, pushing the Quem into the back row, turning off the ability to reborn the Mirror Jade. That was something. You gotta be careful with the full field negate. You're negating your own cards. You don't want to negate your own Quem because they're dealing with Quem. That'd be a bad idea. Send the Ash, summon Oak, Oak reborn from the graveyard or banish. Now we're full field negating. Negate. With the Super Poly, I think Dragostapelia could be a good option. Could fuse with the Dark if we want to before they go into Promethean. This is, wait, did we negate it earlier? Was it negated when it activated, so it was activatable? This is the Rinbrum, reborning from the graveyard, the Albaz, which could fuse with the opposing fields. It is negated. And we have the Divine Temple activating, which is negated by the... What did we choose with the... Why is Mirror Jade negated right now? I'm kind of confused. We chose the Mirror Jade. How did the Mirror Jade get negated? Mirror Jade got the trap negates it forever. Is that what it does? It's not until the end phase. It's a forever negate. This forever negates. Okay, so it was not turned off from activating, but it was forever negated. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. That was actually a good use of the Ogre. The Albaz needs to remain on the field in order to fuse with the opponent's fields. All right, that worked out. Kurikara sending that Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade was fusion summoned, so it activates to wipe out the field of monsters during the end phase, making our Promethean Princess to reborn from the graveyard. It's not a trigger effect, so we were not able to use our Super Poly. The Gangrel triggered, but negated by our own trap. Our own trap negated the Gangrel from summoning from the deck or extra deck. Damn. Amblo Whale is here, triggering the Flame Burst to reborn 2 level 1 fires. Poplar searching from the deck. Is that another one, or we returned it back in the deck? I think we returned it, right? Zealantis is here. Banish the field, returning it back onto the field. Super Poly can't be used since we have no card in the hand. This will trigger the Promethean to pop your newly summoned monster that we summoned onto your side of the field. Wipe it out. Come forth, Promethean Princess. 6,100 damage. Popping out both back row cards, non-target, wiping out that entire field here. Damn. Oaks and itself plus Promethean, summoning from the deck our Flame Burge. Okay. Flame Burge setting up into the back row. Albion, so it does not activate during the end phase. Pretty smart. I think that was kind of smart. We have Hida, which will be poppable with our Promethean Princess on their special, or poppable with the Mirror Jade. Oh boy, we don't have anything. That Mirror Jade screwed us up. But luckily, they don't have much follow-up because we put the Albion into the back row so it wouldn't activate during the end phase to search for a card. Huh? What are you doing here? Cast Tira Unicorn off the top of the deck for lethal damage. Cast Tira has invaded the duel out of nowhere. Ash, activate. Do not ash the ash. When do we ash? We don't ash the effect of Poplar, but we probably should have max seed. Huh. Now we're maxing. I think we're like, oh shoot, we forgot. That's fine. Was it fine though? I don't know about that. All right. We are not going to forget to max C ourselves. We are going to ash your max C though. Thus, you have 0 disruption for our Where Art Thou combo. Have a level 1, then the Where Art Thou is activatable, adding the Poplar. Where Art Thou is kind of like Bonfire if Bonfire was bad. Not that Where Art Thou is bad, it's just definitely not as good. Link Karibo, trigger the Poplar. Poplar equip into the back row, setting up the field spell. Now remember, the field spell for both players are ready to be activated. We could trigger the opposing field spell, stealing the Flame Burst. You really got to think about that. You have to remember that if you put something good into the back row, then you perform a normal or special, you're giving them that card. And if you give them Flame Burst, their Flame Burst could further steal another back row card. All right? Yeah. You get nothing. You actually get nothing. I'm going to take your Flame Burst and nullify your field spell from being able to take my Ash. It ain't happening. Damn. Birch is here with the Wanted, grabbing a Diablo Star from the deck. We're going to use Ash to send the field spell that we no longer want to be using for our own Flame Burst. We could push a card from either graveyard or field into the back row, grabbing back our own Flame Burst here as we now make Hida. Hida could steal a fire monster from the opponent's graveyard, which there are none for some reason. Just no fire. Wow. Okay. We're going to link this up with Hida into our Promethean Princess. Promethean Reborn, a fire from the grave. And we could very easily set up a Zealantis lethal. Yes. Link this up into Zealantis. Is this still cool? Or is it not cool anymore? How long until this is no longer a cool way to lethal the opponent? Reborning the entire field back onto the fields, putting it face down you go so it does not trigger. This will be triggering our Promethean Princess. Get popping, and if we pop the Hida, it could then pop another card. We don't need to though. With the Promethean and the Zealantis, it is co-linked up so we could pop both Ashes within the battle phase. We do not even have lethal. Huh? We had 7950 damage? Huh, what? Okay. And we're no longer co-linked to pop with the Zealantis. Oh my gosh. What the heck happened? What the heck happened? He timed out after realizing his Zealantis is no longer co-linked. Sending our Flame Burst for our Diablo Star. We did not max C in the draw phase. We are now going to max C. This is not a good use of max C because the Diablo Star could be choosing between Original Sinful or Silvera. We don't know if they're playing Silvera, but if they're playing Silvera, they're now setting Silvera. But they probably, even if they play Silvera, would set Original Sinful, which you could then max C after or wait for the activation to then max C. So you're giving them a different choice. They do not play Silvera. So you almost got punished. Almost. Setting up Divine Temple, re-equipping, and you still technically get punished here because they didn't commit to a special summon, but maybe you wanted for them to not special summon. So if that's the case, you really didn't want them to further special summon, then sure. We have Ash, which is going to trigger the field spell, summoning our Flame Burge onto the field. Imperm, negate the Ash. The triple tactics talent is not activatable. We didn't activate any monster effects. Field spell and Imperm. Now, what could we do to trick them into activating a monster effect within the main phase? If we could get the Poplar or the Diablo Star in the graveyard, they will activate. So that would be a way to whip out the TTT. It has to be within the main phase, though. Or Max C. There you go. Now we could triple T. Ash Negate, triple Tactics Talent Mate. This is it. Could take control of the Flame Burst. We could even draw 2. This is not looking good for Boda. Not boding well for Boda. Send from the field, summon from the deck. Oak activates. Reborn from the grave. Poplar is here. We haven't even used our triple Tactics talent yet. There's a chance we could activate into the Imperm row. We instead have our Flame Burst in the back row, which our Flame Burst will take it, yoinking it onto our field. Triple Tactics talent. Give me my Flame Burst back. Actually, I'll take yours. It's subtle, but by clicking on this card, it has a blue background, which signifies it is the blue player's card. And if you click on the other card, this is the red player's card. So when the controls are switching, that is a way to see. Come forth, Hida. Hida, reborn a fire monster from the opposing graveyard, which there is none. Sending our back row Flame Burst to summon a Flame Burst from the deck here, triggering Flame Burst to reborn 2 level 1 fires. It's kind of new, the background thing. Maybe like 6 months ago it happened, but you know, kind of new. Unicorn on summon, discard Nibiru, spinning the Diablo Star back into the deck, scooping it up, it just like that. We are advancing into another match. Boda going second. Diablo Star is out and is here and is top freaking tier. Could she ever get limited in the future? But then that means we messed something up. We should have had a non-link to do the Masquerena. Wanted in the draw phase for the Diablo Star. Send Diablo Star to summon Diablo Star. Triggering the effect to grab from the deck. We're going to be triggering our field spell to grab from our back row our Flame Burst, which could then summon the Masquerena. Get ready. Top 16 is not all Snake Eye. It's quite a few non-Snake Eye. Did we put Original Sinful into the Imperm column that is activatable? Yes, we did. Masquerena activating on its summon as we're choosing to do so in response to its summon to link off into Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn on summon, discard Nibiru, returning the Imperm column to Original Sinful. Where Arf now because we have Jet Synchron adding the Poplar, triggering the Poplar to summon itself onto the field. We don't have any Link monsters in the grave or our Borreload Savage Dragon play. Poplar is going to get impermanenced. All right. As we then further link this up into our Link Karibo, Poplar trigger, put itself into the back row. We're going to further link the Link Karibo and Jet Synchron, making the Hida. That's going to be triggering the Promethean Princess, taking out the Hida to summon itself from the grave. Now, Hida being destroyed will activate, searching our deck. Also, the Flame Burst being sent to the grave's triggering. Also, because the Hida was destroyed, the Ambler Whale is going to non-target destroy a card in the field. Does not matter whose Link 3 or lower is destroyed, the Ambler Whale will be triggered. Reborning 2 level 1 fires, the Ash and Oak will activate. Or will they? We said no. On resolution, grabbing the Kurikara, we said nope. We said nope. We're not activating either. Sending from the deck to summon our Ash. Ash activate, grabbing the Birch. Birch special summon because we control the Ash. Wanted, return back on the deck to draw a card here. Randomly drawing into the Oak that we probably wanted to summon. Did we already Oak effect? We did not. Summoning a Flame Burst, Jet Synchron, discard Oak to reborn. And with that, we're going to be summoning a Link Karibo, banishing our Jet Synchron, linking this off into a Dark. Dark, steal a Dark monster from the opposing graveyard, which there are Dark monsters to summon. Triggering the Flame Burst to reborn the Oak. Oak reborn the Jet Synchron. We made sure to have room for the Dark to summon from the opponent's graveyard a Diablo Star. Your Diablo Star is mine as we further link this up into a Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess reborn from our graveyard. Flame Burst Dragon. Now, is it time for Zealantis Lethal? We're going to link this up into World Sea Dragon Zealantis. Flameburst pushing the opposing Promethean Princess into the back row, banishing the entire field to then reborn the entire field back onto the field. Get ready. Do not block up your Zealantis from being able to be co-linked. If you do, that will be the monster you pop with your Promethean. How many monsters are we dealing with? There's 8,000 life, plus 1 monster, 2 monster, and 3 monsters. Triple monsters and 8k life. How do we deal with it? We're gonna pop the Unicorn with the Promethean on its summon, making sure to be co-linked up with the World Sea Zealantis, which because we popped a Unicorn, that triggers the Amble Will to pop any card in the field, which could have been a monster. We're taking out the field spell. To battle we go. Linkuriboh is simply going to die to the Zealantis. Non-target, wipe out the field, lethal damage. Now, could he have waited with Linkuriboh after Zealantis targets the monsters to destroy? If that's how Zealantis worked, but it's not. It's non-target, so they activate, you chain Linkuriboh, it doesn't matter. We'll then take out the Linkuriboh. Lethal damage. Very nicely done, Boda. Crazy. Holy moly. If I were to put a bet on this, I bet Boda's gonna win this match. Vanquish Soul versus Snake Eye. I can understand a lot of people having Snake Eye fatigue right now. It is, in fact, everywhere. Now, what kind of field do we have here as we were talking about other things in the meta? We have the Formula Synchron and Flameburst completely untargetable. We could go into a Baron to floor, triggering the Flameburst to reborn 2 level 1 fires. We have Masquerena, which could go into a massive Apollo USA with multiple monster negates. We have a perfect 4-card hand trap hand. What the hell is this? Veiler, Droll, Maxi, Nibiru. Droll does turn off the Maxi, by the way. Begin. Starting off with Veilering the Unicorn. And we're going to be activating our Flameburst, summoning from our back row, chaining the Formula Synchron to go into that Baron to floor Omni Negate as we have been talking about. Very nice. Omni Negate, can't target. And Masquerena, plus summoning our 2 level 1 fires. Fire, Oak, Ash, activate both. Reborn. Gia, what are you eating? Smells like nachos. Poplar from the graveyard. Poplar will be searching. We have Kurikara in case you find a way to make it to the next turn. We are going to equipping our Durendal to then pop Durendal, grabbing a Rise Heart or Raisin. So that is the synergy there. Stake your soul, reveal the Rise Heart, summon from the deck our Raisin. Now, we are having to play under Max C, which is quite unfortunate. Masquerena is going to be on a lower chain link from the Elf, so we're going to unstack the chain. Reborn from the grave. Then Masquerena. Then summon Linkuriboh. Because we didn't have room for Linkuriboh to be summoned there, right? So just, I really think it's a good visual of just, you're building a stack and then you're unstacking it. Otherwise, it could be a bit confusing when your field is full of monsters. Untargetable Apollo. Negate. Now, the Raisin is in the same column as Apollo, which is a cool idea, but is actually not a good idea. It can destroy the Apollo if the opponent forgets that Masquerena is protecting it from being destroyed. It doesn't matter if they forget in Master Duel because, oh my god, they did forget. Well, I guess it ate up a negate. Great. Awesome. I guess it did matter. Nice. I thought I was going to say Master Duel would cover that for you, but apparently, all right, that's fine. To battle we go. Linkuriboh reducing the attack as the Unicorn is big enough to swing over. Even if we didn't negate, the Unicorn was still big enough. Now, Flameburst is how big exactly? 25. They're both 25. They're both bigger anyway. Rock of the Vanquisher, adding a Vanquish Soul monster in the graveyard back to our hand. There is high pressure in tournaments, you know, mistakes do happen. And I'll give you $1,000 if you could watch a top cut of a YCS and not find a single misplay. And I would have to say that I would have to be the one to identify it because you will probably in bad faith say nothing's a misplay. It doesn't happen. In fact, not only are there misplays, find a YCS without an illegal play. Yeah, how about we up the stakes? Find one without an illegal play. It's happening like crazy. And, I say illegal. I'm not going to say cheating. I'll say illegal play because, we don't know intent. We don't know that people are putting monsters into the Anima column on purpose and then making that exact play afterward. Baron to floor, Reborn, our Flame Burge. This is it. We could push a monster onto the field into the back row or from either player's graveyard into the back row. Rock of the Vanquisher, summoning the Raisin in the same column as the Elf. Flame Burge is going to push the Raisin into the back rows. We're going to return it back to our hand instead to summon the Caesar, as we're first going to burn for 1,500 damage with the Borger. We don't have a Dark to reveal to get drawing every turn, so burn damage it is. Now, it's worth noting that Vanquish Soul is the highest win rate on the official in-game Master Duel data since March 1st. Since 2 days ago, it's the #1 in-game deck. Higher win rate than Snake Eyes. But, it does not mean it's the best deck. Snake Eyes is better. Oak, Reborn, Ash, Activate Search. You could argue that the leftover Vanquish Soul players here are the die-hard fans of Vanquish Soul that are really good with the deck, maintaining its high win rate. So maybe all the bad players switch to Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes also has a high win rate. Lantis is here, ready to banish the entire field non-targeting. We're going to use Jialong to search our deck for a Pantera. This is it. We're going to chain Caesar Valius to make it unaffected from the banish of Lantis. Does that really matter, though? This is a massive Lantis banish. Holy moly. This is a judge call IRL. How are we resolving all of this? Summon, 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 everything back into attack position. Trigger the Promethean Princess, pop in the Borger in our Jet Synchron, making sure to co-link with the Lantis. As we further go into Hida, which we're no longer co-linked. Because your Caesar Valley is activated, we're going to be summoning a Karikara, further linking into a Nightmare Unicorn co-linked with the Lantis to not only discard and spin back, but to also draw a card and to non-target pop up to 2 cards on the field. Lethal damage. Raisin not getting imperm because the Caesar or Borger would return it back to the hand. We're going to activate Raisin to trigger the effect of Jialong to come forth and summon. Now making Rock of the Vanquisher. We could still be wary about imperming potentially because the Jialong could be returned back to the hand by a Caesar or Borger, revealing to now search our deck for a Vanquish Soul, Snow Devil. And we're now under Dimension Shifter, which should be an auto win against Snake Eyes. The Snow Devil has the ability to potentially wipe out all monsters on the field, non-targeting destruction. We have the Raisin, which could potentially destroy a monster in the same column and search our deck for a monster to be summoned. Let's see what they do. Divine Temple setting up into the back row, our Flame Burge, Ash grabbing Poplar. Poplar activates special summoning itself onto the field, searching for our Snake Eye Original Sinful. We are going to be we are in main phase 2, summoning the Raisin into the same column as the Ash here, which triggers the field spell to summon our Flame Burge onto the field. Let's go. Come forth. I'm going to start playing Vanquish Soul to lower the win rate. And because the deck is much less popular, a single player could probably get it to fall off. Yeah, that's actually legit. I think one player, if you were to surrender all day, maybe a full week, it would screw that up, definitely. Don't do that, though. If you were to do that with Snake Eyes, I don't think it would really move because the deck's too popular. Come forth, Caesar Valius with the ability to wipe out the entire field non-targeting. We're under Shifter, by the way, so nothing's going to the grave. Everything's getting banished. No Flame Burge effect. Everything is banished. Damn. Can we activate 1 for 1? 1 for 1 says it has to go to the grave by cost. Illegal activation. Can we activate the Original Sinful? Has to go to the grave by cost. Illegal. Can we Diablo Star? Diablo Star says the card has to go to the grave to summon. Illegal. Okay, we could Veiler though, right? No, the Veiler has to go to the graveyard. Illegal. Dead, dead, dead. Illegal, illegal, illegal. Shifter's good. play a deck that Shifter can be played in and just auto win. It's that easy. You're losing to the deck. Let's see what decks play Shifter. Bringing up Shifter on here, Vanquish Soul, top deck using it, Kashtira. Earlier today, someone said they want to play Exorcister. You're going to put in your Shifters for easy wins. Fluandereeze even. I think once we get to Fluandereeze, we kind of stop there. Yeah, we don't go down to Ritual Beast or Stun. Dinomorphia, sure, yes, do that. That's something. And yep, there you go. Those are the decks that are all playing Shifter. DD Crow, initially, within the first week of tournaments, a lot of people were playing this, thinking it could be good against Snake Eye. Over time, I think many of us can agree that DD Crow is not the way. This should be a Veiler. If we already have triple Veiler, could even from Veiler, it could be Nibiru, Ghost Mourner. I think all better than DD Crow. Now, we could be playing DD Crow because it's dark. It being dark is revealable with Vanquish Soul cards. So is Boss wrong for playing DD Crow? I'm not saying that. Just in general, hand traps. We could DD Crow to stop the Borreload from having a negate. That's great. Let's go. And we do exactly that. Borreload's negate is now gone. All right. We're going to be opening up with Unicorn Search. We have the... we need a fire monster, it looks like. Let's make our play. We have Flameburge being summoned from the deck here. Flameburge being triggered, reborning 2 level 1 fires from the grave. We are now making Formula Synchron. Draw a card on summon, drawing into a hand trap. That is nasty. We don't really think about the benefit of Formula Synchron drawing on summon. I'm sure a lot of you do, but like that's huge. Like draw 1 in addition to what it's doing? Crazy. Equipping the Masquerena, further linking off into the Sprite Elf, reborning the Formula Synchron. Now, I think Elf forgot to have a restriction on Formula Synchron being summonable right now. It says target a rank/link 2 monster instead. I don't know a good way where it should have also mentioned a synchro. So maybe this should say that you can't target. I think it being able to summon a synchro with them having no monster on the field is not correct. Like there's so many things. If they were to errata this card, it first of all would have include a sprite to even summon it. I think so. We probably could just stop there. And maybe the monster you summon has to at least be where the link arrow is pointing to. Not that that would be a big deal, but come on, they didn't even try. Unicorn is here. Veiler, negate. Formula and the Flameburge are completely untargetable. Formula going into the Baron to floor, triggering the Flameburge to summon 2 level 1 fires as the Masquerena is also being summoned to then go into a massive Apollo USA. The chain link order of your Masquerena, your Link Karibo, your Oak, and your Elf, they do matter. So let's pay attention to the chain link orders in which we choose to activate these. Ash, Oak, Oak chain link blocking the Ash. We have Masquerena, and then we have Elf. So technically, the Oak is not able to summon a monster here. So the Oak's just no good. But because we properly put the Masquerena after the Oak, but before the Elf, we could have a massive Apollo USA while still getting the effect of Oak to summon a monster on the field. And we don't even have to use the Elf as part of the summon. So the Apollo will just be untargetable. 3,200 untargetable. We have Jet Synchron. Why is it good to have that Jet Synchron there? Because now we have our Link Karibo, which, wait, Link Karibo got banished by DD Crow. Well, damn. Good thing Apollo is large, though. We have the Promethean Princess being able to pop the Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock of the Vanquisher is going to be negated. You will not be adding a Vanquish Soul from the graveyard back to the hand. Very nice. Get popping, get summoning. We're locked into fire only, which is, it's important to note that because if you Promethean before Masquerenaing, it generally is a mistake. If you Promethean, you would then want to chain your Masquerena to the effect of Promethean before you're locked into fire only, otherwise you're going to summon nothing good. And just like that, Aaron with top tier Snake Eyes defeating Vanquish Soul. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. We're going to be advancing into the top 8 and grand finale within another video. Appreciate you. Let's go.